December 7, 1941, a day which would live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. This was widely known opening statement of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's speech in the Congress right after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Before the attack, European countries like Russia, Britain, were all against Germany and other Axis powers. Tension was stirring, and the American people didn't know if they should fight in the war or stay against it. It was rather clear when Franklin D. Roosevelt got off the podium after the speech what the American people needed to do. As Roosevelt said, it would be recorded that the distance from Hawaii and Japan was obvious that the attack on Pearl Harbor was deliberate and planned several or even weeks in advance. During the intervening time, Japanese government had deliberately sought out to deceive the United States government by false statements and expressions of hope and peace, which they did not clearly follow through with. Not only were we deceived, a total of 2,402 military personnel and citizens lost their life during the attack. Our country was already divided in half between people who wanted to join the military and fight and others who said we should stay out of the war. It was President Roosevelt's influential words that got Americans on the same page. In his short speech, he managed to give our nation as a whole this indescribable amount of morale. Men were lining up in front of the military recruitment offices to fight, and women were joining the workforce to help make weapons and such that we need for the war. I believe the most important factor is that the Americans believed Roosevelt and we backed him up and we trusted his leadership. Knowing that the Allied forces were losing and Germany was advancing through Europe, taking all the territory, he did not hesitate to act to protect our country and also other countries. Roosevelt said, no matter how long it takes us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in the righteous might will win through absolutely victory. This alone shows us that he was the leader we needed during the most gruesome war in American history. His speech was even more effective because he already helped us get through the Great Depression. So the trust was already there. President Roosevelt showed us that words do in fact pertain power. He motivated an entire country to take arms against a mighty foe. He inspired us to fight for something bigger than ourselves, and that is freedom. Roosevelt said, with confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounded determination of our people, that we will gain inevitable triumph. So help us God. Even after his death, the end of the war, the inspiration stayed with the soldiers, and we eventually won the war. His speech became an iconic sense, like he symbolized everything in leadership that we need to lead a country. December 7th, 1941, a day that will live in infamy. Yet President Roosevelt's legacy will always live in righteousness.